In
Yeah.
the miasma, correct.
Yeah. Okay. So it is as bad as I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why she's such a good matchup into the Vex. She is a hard counter to the Vex. She will outscale as well. And Vex can't. You're a burst champion. If you can't kill the Cassiopeia early, and spoilers, you can't because she builds health. You just don't kill the Cassiopeia at all, and then she just wrecks you in the 1v1.
Well, Titan with the lethal tempo, telling you a little bit about what he's going to do. It looks like he will go into that late game, more hyper carry style that he is known to do. But yeah, I mean, look, again, Red have drafted themselves more safety here. And again, the onus is on Furia with even more tools in the top side of the map to make things happen. And even IU, something we were praising before we got on game one, was his roams are really, really good. So, you know, if Furia can execute on the strengths of their composition in the early game, they could run over this one, but we haven't seen them be able to do that.
Yeah. Now, for Furia, it's not all doom and gloom, because I really did like the Rakan Xayah, and this is definitely more Furia's playstyle. So even while Red has a lot of counters here, there's the argument of comfort versus draft, right? Furia, FNB got damage, got carries. Goot likes his damage, even though I don't necessarily think he's the best at it. But Envy on the Vex, like you said, it's an Envy special. He's incredibly comfortable on it. And Trigo, Xayah has been his best champion by far this split. So they've got all the tools they need as well. They can look to out-execute, and a lot of it will just come around dodging Sejuani ultimate and playing around Cassiopeia. If they can do that, then Furia are still very competitive in this match.
Passive taken down out of IU. Titan and Scamber using the pressure they have early on. Level 1, Rakan, you're taking, one-way trades here. You're waiting for level 2, similar to Leona with that EQ. With Rakan, that WE, you get in, get out, especially with that extended range on Xayah. You get so much value out of that. But Titan and Scamber playing it aggressively level 1 as they should. Nothing else too crazy here from the runes. Envy going with the electrocute, so looking to bully out. Like you said, you're sort of a quasi-assassin. You picked 4 assassins on that Vex, and the runes tell you exactly that. On the jungler side of things, again, Age is playing a similar style to the Maokai. Sejuani gives you a lot more than Maokai, or than the Xin Zhao. Like we said, the one-button boards in the late game. Jeez, Avenger, level 3, taking no prisoners right now. Really shoving Envy under his own tower right now.
Yeah, and the problem is, as well, for the Vex, is that you actually don't do that badly pre-6 onto Cassiopeia. She's not that tanky yet. You do outrange her with your poke, and Cassiopeia's intensity is very mana intensive. But if you're losing the trades this early for that's when you've got problems. One thing to keep in note, though, is Avenger is running Cleanse, not TP. So if Avenger's burning all this mana for early prio, he won't be able to get that sort of easy cheater recall and then TP right back into lane without missing a beat. You'll have to shove and make sure Envy is not in a position to shove back. Bot side, another keystone we should talk about is the lethal tempo for Titan here. So it's not going to be Thaldi Varus. And that's very important because that means Red shouldn't, actually on paper, have winning lanes in the early game. Xayah Rakan can match that. In the mid lane, Vex should win, even though that's not happening currently. And FNB should win out with a range advantage. So it should enable Goot to once again have a good early start to this game.
Doing a little better with vision control early on here. Avenger shoved pretty far forward. Goot can do that just as well. Kind of take these 1v1s. Avenger, I don't think, has any idea that he's there. With the TP back, waiting for Envy to get back. Let's see what they can do. Avenger, like you said, really, really mana hungry. He is level 5. That's going to help out a little bit. Throws down a ward. And Gooch is going to take the recall. Not able to get the angle that he wanted. Avenger playing respectfully onto the bottom side of the lane. Just kidding. The vision went off, but Gooch did not go away. And Avenger will walk away just fine.
Wow. Okay, I thought that was greedy from Avenger there. He had to shove, and that's usually when you go for that recall there so that you don't miss too much on the wave. Actually walked up there, but because Aegis had path downwards initially, Avenger was fairly confident that he was safe and is able to play better. Titan separated a little bit here.
Yeah, IU with the level advantage went forward. Scamber immediately flashes in. The Ignite ticking down. Titan fighter die. He's not going to be able to do anything. He will do the latter. In fact, first blood over to IU.
I love Trigo. Trigo spammed that sort of scream emote as well in their last game in the regular season when Titan kind of entered the last fight. So, yeah, definitely flashbacks to that. And we're seeing this particular matchup. This was my concern for if we're walking into this series. Are you taking a turret shot? We'll be fine. That in the regular season, Titan was popping off, and he was winning games by dominating the bot lane. We saw the stat that Red has a very high first blood percentage rate. That comes from the bot lane. 50 to 60% of the first bloods come from that bot lane for red. And that's Titan and Scamber winning out. But against Trigo, one of the most conservative bot laners, and even worse, against Trigo, who's peaking in playoffs right now, you're probably not going to see that. And if Titan goes down, red as a team tend to follow going down.
Yeah, they have been certainly a more one-dimensional team. In last game, they looked better. You had more threats from other positions, and they are sticking to that identity in draft. Again, Bull back on this Cassante. He won MVP in game 1. Tomorrow, as you're seeing on your screen, Pain versus Lau, that is going to be a series and a half. I am so excited. I'm happy to be casting this one here with you, but I think you and I both know we'd rather be doing that one tomorrow, because that is going to be such a fun series. It's going to be a banger. Trigo has come back to lane with a Noon Quiver and a Dagger. So even with just that assist and good farm, he is making the most of it. Just so much stronger than Titan right now.
Yeah, and the Noon Quiver is actually going to be really important in this lane, because before they got the kill onto Titan there, they were losing the lane by about 2 waves. Titan was up about 13 CS before that. So Noon Quiver making it a lot easier for Trigo to farm. And we said before, Trigo is a conservative laner. He doesn't care about getting kills. What he cares about is getting farm.
Ayu going in, Titan backing up, but he's got Aegis there to help him out. Can they walk away with a kill before he goes down? He's got the fighter die on him, and it doesn't even matter. He won't need it. Scamber picking up the kill, so 2 supports with 2 kills. But more importantly, Red stave off what could have been a disastrous snowball.
Damn it, 4x4. I stand by what I said. Trigo should be a conservative 80.
He's got an advantage. He's not a dumb laner.
True. No, he's not. But the one moment he tries to go aggressive, everything kind of backfired. Very, very unfortunate. Again, Goot hovering, trying to find the kill onto Avenger. Avenger still no tanky stats yet, still vulnerable, but a great control ward from Avenger on the bot side means he's safe. He knows which side he can shade on, and Goot, the early jungle has not been kind to him this game or the last.
No, now Aegis is first. Immediately dash, flash, ult. Gets the flash out of Envy. You will take that. Yeah, wow. You can cover a lot of distance with those 3 abilities.
Yeah. I mean, we saw Croc doing it all series last week in that Loud game. And Aegis obviously taking notes right now. I mean, this is why he was considered the best jungler. Bot side, okay. Bad base timing for Titan and Scamber here as Trigo gets 2 plates on this shove.
Man, and 2 plates all by himself. Titan does come back with a Noon Quiver, but like you said, at what cost, brother? Aegis going to walk right over a Warden. He knows that. He knows FNB knows that he's there. Bull's got the all-out and the flash as well, so he could potentially go in on FNB, but FNB playing it respectfully. He's up 13 CS. He's doing just fine. Not trying to win out this lane necessarily. Going for the call, just trying not to get stomped.
Yeah, and this time FNB, I think, paying a lot more respect. Last game he picked the Gwen, which in the early game actually favors Cassante. Gwen will outskill, and we saw him do a lot of work. But this time FNB saying, okay, no, I want something lane dominant. We get that early pressure. It's worth noting, Red did pick up first Drake. Goot didn't even look that direction. So Dragon stacking, probably not that big a win con for Furia here. But getting the Herald is going to be massive because they've not been as strong in the early game as perhaps we'd have liked to see. So Herald will do a lot to help with that. Scamber walking right into this one.
Yeah, he's in trouble. Ayu going forward. He's got the ultimate. He will go down as Ayu with 2 kills. Yeah, look,
again.
Here's the thing, man. As many times as I, as a support, have been like, oh, I ignited and, you know, it gave me the kill. That's a bummer. There have been just as many times where I've held on to the ignite for fear of that, and I've lost a trade by 50 health.
That's fair. But hey, Scamber was not walking back out of that one. You had everybody ready to burst him down. And if you're Trigo, you know what? It's fine. Trigo is a conservative AD carry. He cares about the CS, not the kills. That's going to be my mantra this game, I feel like.
Man, FNB blew the flash. Thought that maybe that was the start of an all-in from Bull and that Aegis was going to be hot on his heels. Burns the flash just to be safe. You're going in again onto Titan. Man, the distance you can cover with that empowered E when you're laning with Xayah is just so much. He went right back to the bush from one side of the lane to another effectively. Scamber walking up. He knows that Aegis is around should they try anything.
Yeah, and these bot laners, both these supports, rookie supports. And I was telling you off air that I feel bad for Scamber because we heard the trash talk segment. There was a little bit of joking about, oh, Scamber, you know, it's a substitute for Curry. Not even the original, not even the best support for this team. But I do think actually Scamber is really good as a rookie. And if not for the existence of Ayu, would probably have been up there in terms of my top rookie of the split. Well, there was also Zai. But Zai and Ayu just make it really hard for Scamber. Scamber is really, really good. But then you look at Ayu. Hold up, fight. No? Okay, good. we can finish the point here. Ayu wins the lane for Trigo a lot of times. He's the aggressive one with these Bel'Veth picks, with these Rakan picks, and that's why I love his Rakan. Because he's effectively winning out trade wars 1v2, while Trigo gets to focus on farming and gets to build up. And then in the team fights as well, that aggression that we're seeing in the lane translates to really good engages here. And that's something that very few supports are able to give their AD carries, at least to this degree.
Yeah. And as much, yeah, like you said, half the reason that Trigo can be such a monster in the late game is because Ayu is applying so much pressure as a support, right? It's that old mantra. I win you the lane, you win me the game. And that's exactly what Ayu's doing to the tune of 2 kills. But yeah, with the enchanted footwear, Trigo well on his way to having boots and a mythic item no matter where he chooses to go with that. Red looking to collapse here onto Furia. They're grouped up as 4. Top laners joining. Bull is here. FNB rather taking the scenic route, and he goes with the stun.
Bull.
Good. The ultimate there from Trigo, able to get him out, but the ultimate comes out of Titan. Avenger trying to lock them down as well. It's a double kill for the Orianna. Just 1 damage item. Hey, I guess that's all you need, and they get a dragon out of it too.
Yeah, really well played from Canids. Really well played from Bull. This is why he won MVP in Game 1. He might be losing the lane 4x4, but his engaged sense remains. And once again, just like Game 1, FNB caught without TP available, caught moving late compared to his lane partner, and that means that Red are able to get the lead here. And look at the setup. Everybody's been here. Where is FNB? He's still coming down from the river, and Ayu's doing his damnedest, doing everything he can, but also because of the flank position, Avengers Miasma gets to cut everybody off, and you're just kind of stuck in there. The free damage comes in as well. Props to Ayu. Massive distraction to the side, and sure, other people go down, but honestly, Ayu should have gone down. This is why I love his Rakan. It's just so mobile, and he plays so well with it.
No, he really knows his limits on this champion. Like you said, he's able to bait out ultimates. He had a fantastic couple games on it in the previous series that they played against Fluxu. But Red able to walk away with a couple kills, but still the advantage not in their favor. And you have to think back to Trigo and all that solo turret plate gold he got, because it's still, despite things not going too well right now. Look, Furia still with a 30 CS lead in the top lane. Avenger, it's really just him that's on that mythic item. Trigo is, even despite being down in CS, they had the Herald as well. Where did that go?
Herald got dropped into the bot lane, so
yeah, okay.
They did get a charge off. It was slightly before Dragon.
Yeah. That's right. There we go.
Yeah, and it's surprising because normally you drop that for the pressure for lane control. FNB up the lane, has no flash here.
He just has the Glacial Prison and the flash should he choose to chase. FNB knowing that didn't go out, he thought, all right, I'm safe to take a trade back. Goot on the Divine Sunder as well. Yeah, look, it's 3 mythics to 1 right now for Furia. There aren't really any objectives to fight over, which is the one kind of downside. So you're looking for picks. You're looking to punish mistakes right now for these next kind of, couple minutes here.
Yeah, and it's got to be fast. The gold gap is not that big. So Red Canids should also be starting to hit their mythic spikes. And we mentioned the first mythic in the game was Avengers Rod of Ages. And I want to go back to that a little bit because we had said for the mid lane, Envy's window of opportunity was very narrow. Once the health stacking starts from Avenger, you're probably actually going to find it hard to gank this lane for Goot for Envy because you're mostly burst, number 1, and number 2, as we kind of mentioned as well, the Miasma can do a lot to stop Goot and Envy from actually gap closing, Petrifying Gaze as well to stop these engages and just walk away. And if you lose the mid-jungle matchup, if Avenger gets to take over, Furia are going to start struggling to rotate between top and bot side. Trigo and Ayu are doing great in isolation. FNB is doing great in isolation, but you need to bring them together for maximal effect. And if mid lane, you have no control over that, you can always cut off and collapse on one side or the other for Red.
And they've got so many tools to do it, right? I mean, if you're bunched up, guess what? There goes the Renata ultimate. God, I'm struggling today.
Hostile takeover, baby.
Thank you, hostile takeover. Petrifying Gaze, Bull could just yeet you right out of the fight. There's just so much CC in every single ultimate is some form of hard CC. So there are a lot of options if you're going to play into Red. Now, But that's kind of just what Furia's composition has to do, right? And we haven't seen, again, a straight-up kind of 5v5, but we saw in a 5v4 that it didn't go too well for him. And you like to think with that, but you like to think that with that Slicing Maelstrom available, maybe you're able to get something back.
Yeah, massive. I mean, if you compare Cassante to Kennen, obviously Kennen has a bigger team fight impact there, especially on the initiations, especially with Rocket Belt. Turrets traded in top and bottom here, and Furia picking up Herald. So Furia a little bit ahead of the play, and the issues we kind of mentioned for this Furia composition in terms of rotating on the map is less obvious if you're already grouped up. Then it just comes down to team fighting. And we mentioned before in draft, that's going to be pretty even. Yes, Red has some pretty good answers, but Zaya Rakan is nothing to scoff at. And I'm just waiting for Trigo to come online. He's got the kill force here. So with the turrets down, with extended lanes in either side lane, it's perfect timing for Furia to start grouping up.
You got to make sure you've got those TP timers right. Like you said, Avenger opted for the cleanse. So Envy with that teleport will give his team TP advantage pretty much always. Bull having himself, decent game so far as well. We saw the gold initially there. Envy, one more charge could be it for him. He didn't take cleanse. Not that you should really on this champion, but he just kind of gets run down. It's a little depressing. But now IU looking for something because they got FNB on the collapse. There goes the Slicing Maelstrom. This is the fight they wanted, but is it the fight that will be good enough? Bull joining. Making a difference here. Aegis chasing Goot out of the fight. He was the only one in there really doing damage. Scamber survives, and now they are on the retreat. Featherstorm available for Trigo along with the cleanse should he get jumped on. But looks like Furia aren't even going to put themselves in danger of getting pounced on. They're going to drop the Herald. Are they going to head for the hills? Trigo's still thinking, look, if we could get a little something here, maybe we have it, but it's just Envy with the ultimate to try to start a fight here. Herald serving as a distraction, trying to get Titan off it, see if they can get something out of it, but they will get nothing. It was just a distraction. IU getting caught, but with the slippery Rakan, able to get out. Shadow Surge available for Envy. Bull taking him out of the fight. Gonna dash right into him. Good is in trouble. Now he gets flashed on and taken out of the fight immediately. Didn't even matter that he had his camouflage up, but FNB trades a kill right back on the other side. Bull has gone all out. This might be Envy's window, but the damage from Bull is so much. Shield out. Avenger joining this one will prevent Envy from engaging, but they've actually managed to shove Red off this objective with no Aegis and no Scamber really able to pose a threat. Now the dragon is Furia's.
Or is it 4x4?
Yeah, or
because of how close that fight is, I don't think Furia is comfortable doing this. And sure, Red got the initial pick, which was beautiful, amazing from them to run down Envy. But this is why I said if they group up, suddenly a lot of these advantages and comps aren't as obvious because it does come down to who can execute better. We saw how Red can root somebody down, but Furia as well in these extended fights, the Zaya advantage is starting to show. Now FNB playing with fire, has to use the Rocket Belt defensively, has no flash, has no Rocket Belt to set up Slicing Maelstrom.
No, and that's going to make it so much tougher. Maybe on that left side of the river near the mid lane, that's got to be your point of entry if you want to try something cheeky, because that's the only place where you have vision. Red back off, and it allows Furia to reestablish vision, and now they're going to grab this dragon. Red up 2-0 on that front. Begrudgingly maybe, but we'll give it away.
And honestly, I think that's a great call from Red Canids. Chain of Corruption is not available for Titan. Everybody's ultimates pretty much are. Bull, all out, not available either, but that's fine. I think Tank Cassante in this form is perfectly viable for these team fights here. And it's just coming down strictly to cooldowns. The fact that Furious came up first, Red is playing respectfully, giving this one up. But for all the action that we saw 4x4, that's Furious first Drake. Like we said, dragon stacking is not something that they're looking at as a win con.
No, or if they were, then they can't really be anymore. Red, Red took the first two. Baron going to be up here in a second. And the first two Heralds went to Furia. They got something out of one. They got next to nothing out of the second one. Mm-hmm. And with Baron coming up, it'll just be another place to draw battle lines. Neither team going to really feel comfortable taking it from here. But a pretty even game so far. And, Furia, they're up. They've got a little bit more of an advantage than they did in game one, which definitely favors their composition. But again, you're reliant on a couple of key ultimates, and namely FNB with that Slicing Maelstrom.
Yeah, and split push is not going to be a real thing this game for the most part. FNB is going the AP build. That is your team fighting build. Bull with the Jack Show as well. Side lanes is all about wave manipulation, but don't expect to see FNB or Bull spend extended time trying to take turrets here. If anything, they're just setting up for a potential TP play, and because of that, we've got to watch these TPs. If you can bait one up from the opposing team, it's massive. Even with 2 TPs for Furia, Envy's TP in a way is, or for Envy and FNB, they kind of need to be there at the start of fights, because FNB, either you get a flank or you need to be there to cut off to start off with the Slicing Maelstrom. Likewise with Envy, you kind of want it for the poke. So it's really about these top laners and who gets there first, who can pull the trigger first in the 5v5s.
Cosmic Drive has come in. FNB is the richest man in this game right now. Avenger is looking pretty big as well. The Seraphs has come online. That feels really good. Obviously, Cassiopeia not building boots, but with 8 stacks on the Rod of Ages as well. Yeah, it's kind of just those two right now as far as the hard damage. We haven't really touched on Titan much this game. 1-3, fine enough game. Yeah, he's building that shield bow because he knows that half of the reason that Furia drafted the composition that they did is they know they need to get to the back line. So that is just pure defensively right there. Titan popping the Ghost to try and catch up. Chains of Corruption doesn't land, but Aegis has the CC to make up for it. FNB, if he can get the triple stun down, Titan flashes away and barely avoids it. He's got a huge shutdown in his pocket.
If anything, I think FNB holding on to that Slicing Maelstrom a little bit too long there. If you turn, you saw what they did to Titan. Titan had to burn everything to get out there, and Trigo might have been able to help you up. But Red, once again, manufacturing a really, really solid pick. Problem is, 4x4, what do they get for it? Right before they made that pick, Furia got a mid lane outer turret from Red's sloppy rotations, the fact that nobody was there to cover that. So Furia still winning out the macro for now.
And still up 2,000 gold. They're down dragons. They're down kills. But the tower game has been going in their favor. But Titan, he's going to be well on his way. Oh, he's got that second item. Well on his way to a third here, picking up what I'm assuming is going to be a Nashor's Tooth. Just make those auto attacks hurt. You get that percent health as well on the Blight stacks with the AP. I've seen AP Varus do some disrespectful things, just delete champions with about 60% of their health left. It's a little stupid. But Red, like we said, look, their composition just a lot easier to execute, a lot safer, and with the control they have over these objectives over on the top side, we'll see, do Furia want to try and contest? Do they try to want to bait something out into the bot lane? Maybe, right? Because right now they're just walking into complete darkness, and IU, slippery as he is kind of your primary source of engage.
I know I've praised IU a lot, but I can't get over this man's Rakan. Like you said, they were playing into darkness, and IU had zero fear, by the way.
Yeah.
He's so confident on his mechanics that he's just going, I can do this. I don't care. I will face check for you even if I'm not a tank. And Rakan does get tankier as the game goes on as well. So this is only going to get worse for Red. This is not a champion diff. This is literally just the IU effect we're seeing right now. Bot side, the 2 top laners, like we said, got to keep an eye on them. FNB, once again, with the faster rotation, actually gets a ton of chip damage on that bot lane turret. And Furious Macro, again, showing its stuff. If anything, I'm feeling like Red is the one being pressured right now to make these team fights happen, because that's where they found leads, the kills, the fights. If they keep waiting, Furia, they'll find turrets.
Yeah, and they found, like you said, success when they've started fights. Furia trying to drag FNB, or rather Bull, across the map here. He's got his Unleashed TP up. FNB going into some darkness here. I think they see that he's there. I don't know, actually, maybe they don't.
They didn't.
Titan.
Now they do. Bull's
yeah, there we go. Bull's got an eye on him. They've got Scuttle Crab down. Envy looking for something over the wall. FNB looking to be the pincer. He's got Flash. He's got Protobelt. He's got Ultimate. Can Furia chain together the ultimates they need to form a successful team fight? Bull and FNB doing their thing on the bottom side of the river. Stun out from FNB. Aegis waiting in the pixel brush. Trigo making sure that wave stays pushed out, but he's got to be careful.
Okay.
Down goes IU. He's getting locked up immediately and shut down. The CC chain is too much. He wasn't even that far forward, but there wasn't anything they could do. Red just had too much control over that river, and now in a 5v4, they're looking for a miracle play. They don't need this dragon, but they're feeling confident with the right ultimates, with the right team fight setup, they can make Red pay. Bull's down to half health. He's got Flash and the All Out. They will indeed retreat. Not worth it with IU down.
So point for Red, 4x4. It's not really that exciting. I just feel like it has to be that way because of the tension. There is no business for these teams to be this tense around just a Soul Point Mountain Drake. But the teams are this tense because they know it's the fight that matters right now. And for Furia, we're harping on how important IU was. The moment IU died, you saw Furia just wanted nothing about that. And Red knew it. Red were so much more confident. They blew a big team fight ultimate in the Glacial Prison to make it happen. And it's worth, and they will do that every single time. So Red now at Soul Point with a Mountain Drake, that's going to feel really good when this team has so many tankier members like Bull, like Aegis, heck, even Avenger.
Yeah, he's starting to get bigger. 10 stacks now on that route of Aegis. I think the Rylai's is going to be next. That's what those 2 items in the inventory tell me. And again, and I think the fact that Bull didn't blow his TP either, right? That affects how FNB is going to be able to create pressure or his lack of pressure around the map. Furia still showing some decent macro here. They actually got some deep vision down, but we might be playing the waiting game for a few minutes here, RMC, because there is just, I mean, the amount of tension. I haven't felt this much tension in one location since my 8th grade dance. It is, you could cut it with a knife right now.
Well, hopefully that ended well for you, 4x4. And hopefully it ends well for these teams as well with how things keep going.
It was fine.
Okay. Well, I hope it goes better for the teams. I don't want the Furia and Red just go, oh, it was fine after this game here. I want it to be an exciting finish. Red, they recognize what you did as well, 4x4, the fact that FNB's TP is down right now. They have that pressure advantage, and they're just using it to great effect around this Baron area, getting the vision down. Now, I don't like that they've actually called Bull away from this bot lane because he's not pushing, and that is a very, very long bot lane. Both outers are down right now, and because Bull walked up, because there wasn't the push, Furia actually just get to walk right back in and clear out the vision. I don't think they see the control ward in the Baron pit. Somebody, do they? Oh yeah, no, somebody pinged it, so
yeah,
they can see it. They do need to clear it. And as this waiting game progresses, let's take quick stock of where the teams are and what we're expecting to see scaling wise into this fight. Furia, they've kind of hit their power spikes for the most part. Yes, the LDR is going to look really, really good for Trigo when he completes it to cut through tanks. And that's the major item I'm looking at. Everybody else, you're kind of good to go. You're about where you need to be. Rid, on the other hand, Titan with that Rage Blade, that was his big power spike. And on that third item here, looking like it might be a GA with that stopwatch picked up, or maybe it's temporary. But Trigo will start to outscale Titan at this point. And more importantly, in these fights, we've seen Titan is actually struggling to walk in and auto people, whereas Trigo, with Flash, with Cleanse, with the Featherstorm, is so much more confident to just walk into the middle of the chaos.
Well, he's picked himself up. Titan has a stopwatch, or Zhonya's Hourglass.
Zhonya's, okay.
Excuse me, yeah. So, yeah, the AP in his build, in his inventory, told a little bit of a story. And again, look, he's got to play defense, right? He didn't take Cleanse, he took Flash Ghost. But it's not the CC that's going to kill him. It's just that burst damage, right? That there's not really a bunch of kind of effective lockdown. I mean, like there's IU, but there are too many threats, right? I think Titan recognizing that you just need a couple of oops buttons. And they're able to do that. But, in kind of extended fights, the Ghost is going to be critical to try and catch up and lay down the damage with those auto attacks. Immediately, Red smell blood in the water, and they go to Baron. FNB has his TP back up. Let's see how they want to play this. He's going to take a cheeky angle from the top side. That's what FNB wants to do on this Kennen. They know exactly where he is. Ultimate out. Titan leading the charge here, but he's got the rest of his team there for backup. The stun down. IU can't do anything. The ult does absolutely nothing, and now the hostile takeover out. Red start this fight perfectly how they want to. FNB with the slicing maelstrom gets nothing on the back end. He just walks into his death. Scamber with a huge ultimate after the fact, but the damage-dealing members of Furia still alive, and they still have enough to take down Bull. Traded right back. Avenger going to make it a 3-for-1 plus a Baron for Red.
And for all the beautiful macro Furia showed us at the critical point, they done gooped. And it comes off that ward, which catches IU basing Red the moment. It's so much about IU here. The moment they know IU's gone, Red have absolutely zero fear. Yeah, sure, Trigo, you got pretty damage numbers, but it's not enough. You're the only one doing damage. And more importantly, we saw in that fight, Furia were struggling to lock down Red, and Red played that fight beautifully.
No, they played it incredibly well. What an ultimate by Avenger, right? He knows that this is a pretty telegraphed engage, right? Like, it's IU, and as soon as he goes forward, right, you are staring right at Avenger. Avenger in the front line goes, thank you very much. I'm going to lock you down. A just lobs the Glacial Prison over the top. And now Red have Mountain Soul. This is getting really, really ugly here, RMC.
Yeah, and remember everything we talked about mid lane, the fact that if mid jungle win, you can cut people off. This is a microcosm of it, right? Like, imagine Baron Pit as the mid lane, and you see what Red do. They turn on FNB initially, and as soon as he's out, they turn immediately on the other end. And because of the Petrifying Gaze, because of the hostile takeover that you're talking about, it eats up the entire river. And it's so difficult for Furia to actually play into that. There are so many oops buttons in these fights for Red. And in the first place, it just comes back to the fact as well that Baron was already gone. Furia was just too late to the party. I understood that you committed TP. You had to make something happen right there. But it's just a high risk, at best, low reward play. Like, at best, you just stop a Baron buff. That's all that you really do.
And the advantage, like you said, it wasn't getting out of control. And even now, it isn't, right? Yeah, sure. You could stop, you could sack Baron and just take the Mountain Soul. Or prevent the Mountain Soul, I should say, right? But now, with Mountain Soul and a Baron buff, Red just have to kind of take care of their fundamentals, which have looked so much better this series, RMC. I think, look, that's the takeaway from these first two games, is Red, their floor seems so much higher.
I hesitate to agree that normally the floor is so much higher, but today, on this day 4-4, it certainly looks that way. This is incredibly elevated. And props to Avenger, specifically in this matchup, because we had questioned who's going to be that secondary to step up in these fights. And it has been Avenger. In the game 1, his Victor, again, great zone control, the Chaos Storm doing its work. And game 2, on this Cassiopeia, it's so much more pronounced as well. His Miasmas, his Petrifying Gaze, has really been stifling Furia completely. And we talk about Miasma for stopping Envy, but it's been stopping FNB and IU as well. They can't dash in, and the slow function has been massive to allow them to control what CCs they want to put down.
Yeah, I mean, it's just they're executing their composition really, really well. Again, it's an easier to execute composition. Our chat is going crazy with different kind of iterations of the phrase comp diff, right? And I think a lot of, like Bronzo 2K14, Ian Sales, comp diff, draft diff, it is just IU. And when IU's executing and when IU can get certain angles, it's fine. But Red, over the course of this game, have gotten wise to the fact that, look, they can't do anything besides have IU engage and FNB look for a flank. FNB looking to make something happen on the top side now. With no Glacial Prison, maybe Furia have a way in here. But it doesn't look like they will, because even Avenger, even your mage, even your immobile mage is just so thick with 3 Cs and a Q. But look at FNB up on the top side, making things happen. They've got to send someone to respond to him.
Yeah, FNB doing what FNB does best. When his friends aren't delivering, FNB just does it without. And answering back, inhibitor for inhibitor is massive for Fury right now. They're still in the game, but they still haven't solved the fundamental problem of how do you team fight against Red? And we are now at the point where it's not just Baron on the table 4x4. 2.5 minutes from now, it's Elder on the table. And at that point, if Red get Elder, they just steamroll you in your base. Turrets do not matter. So eyes on Furia. Have they found a way to get past Avenger, get past Scamber, and get past Bull as well, who has done a great job isolating critical team fight members for Furia?
There's just too many options in this competition for Red. And to loop back to something I said, I want to clarify, yes, in this series today, Red's floor has looked a lot higher, right? It isn't just Titan, because it's like you said, who's going to step up and be that secondary carry? It's been Avenger, right? And Scamber, shutting up a lot of the haters. Bull, a guy that people had mixed opinions on. The community perception of him was much higher than ours. I think our perception of Bull was fine, but the community had him rated really, really highly. And we're starting to see this now. And it's funny because I feel like the person we've talked about the least on this team has been Aegis, right? Their first team All-Pro jungler. And I think in a way, that is really positive. Now it's Bull looking for a cheeky angle. Featherstorm out into nothing. Envy gets deleted. Aegis going to walk away with the kill. Hostile takeover out. FNB doing his thing on the bot side now. He's got nothing to play with on the top side. They get one kill, but FNB applying a tremendous amount of pressure, even with a 4v3. Red gonna take what they got and head over to Baron. Goot's still alive, could get some sort of miracle steal. IU too far forward. We've seen this one before, RMC.
Yeah, and Goot's just got to go for the miracle steal right now. Without IU there, I was thinking maybe you call for an FNB teleport, but IU did. You can't even go for this vision in the back of the pit. Avenger trying to keep Goot out, and Red, they do it again. It's the Furia macro, the pressure they're putting down the turret. It's great. FNB doing FNB things, but Red, if they find that team fight, and because Furia can't seem to find any way of even just matching the 4v4 pressure, they get Baron. 40 seconds, Elder's up, and I get a nasty feeling we're just going to see a repeat of what we just saw.
And I think it's to piggyback off something you said, right? Red, with the amount that such a crucial member of their team fight, FNB, he has been relegated to different sides of the map. He's been on macro duty, not on micro duty on this Kennen, which is kind of where you need him to be. And that to me tells you that, Furia have kind of recognized, look, the team fights, that's not how we're going to win, right? In a straight up 5v5. Because every time, even when FNB has gotten what seemed like good angles, Red have counterpunched so well.
And here's the thing. He's almost Flame Horizon to his counterpart. FNB is up almost 100 CS from Bowl right now. If you're on a split pusher like Jax or Gwen, hell yeah, let's go, boys. But you're on Kennen, you're team fighting. You don't bring that to the team fight. I don't care how many turrets you're taking. Unless you take a Nexus, it doesn't matter. Now, FNB actually at this fight, Avenger without TP is walking down. Do Furia know?
I don't think they do. But everyone has their ultimates available. Feels like it's for all the marbles, RFC. Here we go. A pivotal point in the game, a pivotal point in the series. Aegis dashing forward, gets it onto Trigo. He's able to cleanse out Featherstorm as well. Bull in some trouble now. FNB gets the triple stun, but Bull with a really good stopwatch is going to negate that. Out goes the hostile takeover. Envy gets hit by it. It doesn't matter. Bull is out of the fight for now, and so is FNB. Bull has his TP, so he can rejoin. That's exactly what he's going to do. Everybody else being pressured onto 4 members. FNB's got the TP, but it's not going to be in time. He has got nothing. Furia have the numbers disadvantage. They're getting run off the map. Trigo playing this fight so well. He's doing everything he can. He's staying alive, but the pressure's just too much. Trigo has to think about way too many things. He's able to get one, and IU will walk away. But that is all she wrote. Nothing can be done. The fight, again, disjointed from Furia, and Red take advantage.
And Bull was massive in that for Red Canids. We were just talking about how strong FNB was. He almost killed Bull in the 1v1, but the fact that Slicing Maelstrom hit nobody but Cassante meant that Bull had done his job. Can they try and steal this? Run at it.
You
run
gotta.
At it. 2k health.
That's all you could do. Why are you going that way? Oh! FNB! What?
Let's go! That's FNB going. I thought they were done. I saw Goot running in the opposite direction. I was like, oh, he has no way to get over here. This is done. And with a shuriken, FNB steals it. Continues to keep his team in the game here. His split pushes the steal. FNB are insane. Oh my goodness.
And they had no vision of them. Oh my lord. And I don't even blame Aegis for the early smite, right?
Aegis was dead.
Was he not there?
It showed him as dead on the bottom of that replay.
Okay, well, then maybe that was it. But still, man. That is just unbelievable. Well, look, you've got that on, I think, 3 members now, right? Everyone except Trigo and Envy, which, to be fair, is... That's not nothing, right? If you don't have it on 2 huge damage dealers, but you do have it on FNB, and that's not nothing. He's so huge right now. The amount of AP, I'm looking, kind of my eyes flash into the corner of the screen so they can bring up how much AP FNB must have. And like you said, he's completed the Flame Horizon right now, and they're getting objective bounties back. RMC, the gold is pretty much equal right now.
And to be fair, as you mentioned earlier, the gold difference largely this game 4 before has been within 3k. It's very rare to see a massive advantage. So Furia, The big difference is that Elder Drake, because before this, they couldn't quite find ways to do enough damage. And you saw Trigo in that last fight, all the work he did, TP flank from the side here.
IU gets everybody. This is it. Do they have the numbers? Goot in, can't get anybody. Hustle takeover out. Trigo's in some trouble. Gets a Featherstorm right out of his stopwatch. Aegis up in his grill, but the Elder is helping him out here. FNB, he's used his Slicing Maelstrom, and now can he clean up with the Elder Dragon? Goot takes down Scamber. Are Furia actually going to do this?
They're damn well gonna try. Avenger, the only one surviving. Titan about to go down, but he gets IU before he does. And Avenger...
What is going on?
This is the CBLOL diff, man. We have the running theory that there's always that one moment in CBLOL games where things change. Envy is losing the 1v1. Will go down, and Avenger, he's still alive.
That's so much health. What the? And that Seraph Shield as well. And he had the stopwatch to boot. Man, oh man. Furia pulling a rabbit out of a hat right now. Yeah, this is a CBLOL moment right now. With a shuriken! A shuriken. The dynamic of the game has swung. And the objective bounties are still up. Furia are up in gold. I don't know when the next time the game is going to check. Hey, should we keep these objective bounties up? They're getting so much out of this Trajan. Yeah, FNB, it looks like he's on tilt, but in a good way.
FNB's tilted so far this game, he's come right back up the other side right now. I'm loving it. And we did set this expectation early on. We did say that with the way the compositions function, it does come down a lot to mechanics. Yes, Red has the easier time of it, but it's not like Furia don't have options. Now, the Elder buff has worn out, so that advantage they had with being able to find executes is gone. But look at what they got with it. GA for Trigo picked up right here. FNB, full build as well. Another GA for Goot. And with this, Furia, if you can survive the initial burst, maybe you can come back into it. They've started up the Baron, and it's going down real quick.
We talked about the confidence that Red must be carrying into this game, but into this team fight. It is Furia with all the confidence. Aegis is in the pit. What can he do with this Baron? It was secured by Trigo, and Aegis is the sacrificial lamb. In goes Envy. The follow-up is good. FNB looking for the game-winning play. He's gonna get a triple Maelstrom stun, but it's not enough. Titan survived everything. He didn't even have a stopwatch up. It was just the shielding from the shield bow. That's all he's got. With the auto attacks and the death cap in the inventory, he's able to stay alive and help his team out. It wasn't enough. RMC, I thought that was it. When FNB, that was like the first legitimately good ult he got onto everybody.
And keep in mind as well, for that was a 5v4 that Furia pulled off. Avenger wasn't at that fight, and despite being a 4v5, they still survived the perfect engage from FNB. We mentioned it coming to this fight. Furia, Trigo and FNB are pretty much full build at this point. So they don't get any stronger. And if this is your strongest and you still can't find kills, we've got problems. Red survived this. And I'm going to be honest, like, Baron doesn't matter at this point. Like,
no.
You can't really push effectively with it into this Red composition. The additional AP and AD it gives you is minor. It's all about this Elder Drake. Now, can Furia do it again? They burnt it really fast. They are now, again, first to this objective that will be spawning in 45 seconds.
And that Mountain Soul probably made a difference there, right? I mean, 2 Mountain Drakes plus the Mountain Soul gives that little extra something. I think without the Mountain Drakes, the Mountain Soul, Titan doesn't live that fight. Again, don't know if it would have mattered because Aegis and Bull are just too big to chew through. And Avenger as well with just so much health. And now he's got 2 different forms of resistances coming into his inventory. He can stay alive in these extended fights. Cassiopeia is an absolute menace. And Titan's build as well. Going straight AP effectively, just auto-attacking, trying to get blight stacks off. Aegis has the flash, has the ult. IU, again, is that front line. It's a fight on 2 fronts right now. Elder Dragon spawn. This time, for real, it's for all the marbles. Or is it? 43 minutes in. This one has been one of the wilder games I have cast this split. To hell with pain, loud tomorrow. This is the series. I knew that all along. Come on. FNB
Furia took that personally.
exactly. FNB looking for another flank. He doesn't have flash, but he does have his ultimate.
Okay.
CC down there onto Good. He's got the GA. Featherstorm out as well. FNB trying to collapse there onto Bull. It goes down. Envy's going to pick up his first kill of the series. He's got the Shadow Surge in. There's the CC layering they wanted. They finally chain everything up just right. Furia pull a rabbit out of a hat. They're going to do it. 5-0 ace. Exactly how they drew it up. I cannot believe my eyes. Furia tie up the series.
I am losing.